Hello people, when you think of Jesus cleaning the temple, what are you thinking about? Do you want to be in there with him in the action? You just might get more action than you realize. We're just waiting for the sun to come over the horizon. And we're heading south here, just above Magdala. And Mount Hermon is coming into view, but I'm not going to stop there right now because it would be better in a few minutes when the sun is shining on it. So we can count on the sun rising. Can you believe that? This vegetation is very tall. All these mustard flowers. There's a lot of dampness on the leaves. It's grown an awful lot in the last... When were we here last? A week or 10 days ago? Following along this path here. Hey people, keep an eye on the sun there even if I turn away, okay? And here we have our buckthorn, the late bloomer. When I see the buckthorn now, since I discovered that it's the buckthorn, I'm always thinking, wow, we need to pray for good leadership in our society. Because the buckthorn offered to be the king of the forest when all the other fruit-bearing trees did not. And so the people were plagued with lots of thorns. So these petals are going to open up now when the sun, see they're all drooping down. When the sun comes out, they'll be back in shape. Wow, this is really wet here. And then we have these little ones. We're very close to sunrise, people. Keep your eye on it. Don't let me get distracted. Or you want to climb up here, you can get a better view. Then we got these ones here, these thistles. Some thistles are in bloom already. Maybe we'll see one or two as we go along here this morning. With their nice purple thistle. Thinking of the Scots people. Wasn't yesterday an amazing day? With Pope Francis in Ur of Chaldea, where Abraham hails from, meeting with the top leaders of the Shiites and also of the Yazidis and so many others. And there was a young man who spoke, there's the sunrise. A young man who spoke was neither Muslim nor Christian nor Yazidi nor Druze. He was it Mandian? I'm sorry, I have to learn more. And I don't remember all the names this morning. And he spoke for the Holy Father, for the whole assembly, in Ur of Chaldea. The first time ever Peter's successor goes to Ur of Chaldea. Absolutely amazing. And Peter didn't make it over there, I don't think, because he did make it to Antioch in Syria, which was the eastern capital of the empire. He was there for 7 years as bishop. And he obviously to Rome, where he died, was martyred. So it was the first time Providence brought Peter's successor to Ur of Chaldea. What an incredible meeting. I encourage you there to check it out. The Holy Father says something very powerful, that the greatest blasphemy is hatred. Hatred of the other. Because we cannot hate anybody. And then he said that alliances, which we make, we can make alliances even within the family. And alliances can never be against somebody or against the people. Alliances have to be for everybody. for the good, never for conflict. It's just a marvelous thought and so needed in our world today. Hey, look at this hillside. This is where we're walking along, people. All this is in flower. A carpet of flowers. Welcoming the sunrise. And that's your soul, carpeted with the flowers of so many good thoughts and good desires and blessings. Just imagine how many flowers just in this one little bush of flowers here. How many petals. Oh, there we have this little guy. Come on, little flower. There you are. Look at that, people. Look inside. Look at the engineering, the architecture. Look at the chemistry. Look at the biology. Look at the physics. Amazing. So the greatest blasphemy is hatred for the image and likeness of God, which is every single human being. Hatred can have no place in religious people. Hatred for people has no place in people of faith. What a powerful line. And basically it's not new stuff, you know, because today we have the first reading in the Ten Commandments in Exodus. Hey, look at these nettles. They're also in flower, but the flower is a different kind of flower. These guys sting people. Do you want me to sting to see what it's like for you guys? I'm sorry I can't transmit the sting by camera. So we're going to go through here. Look at this. Where's the path? Well, the path is actually not through the nettles here, although there is a path over there. Where our path is this way here. So I can see it better than you can there. And these nettles are very tall here. Maybe I'll be able to find the text. Or maybe one of you can send us a link in the chat to the text and send it to me on the WhatsApp thing as well, so that I can put it into the post for everybody. There's probably the YouTube on the Vatican website has the whole meeting, but then people mightn't have time to see it all and they could read the text much faster. Wow, this thing has really grown. Look at the water, so still, just a little ripple. A little shimmer of light. All the people going to work on the first day of the week. The day of the new creation. He is risen. And there's our path now, it's much clearer. But look at my trousers, it's all completely wet from the dew on the plants. The morning dew. Oh, just people help, wait for me a second here. The microphone fell off. Just bear with me. There we are. I think we're good. You see the ground is pretty dry here. So 2 days of sunshine already have made the difference. one little concern with all the vegetation. We'll have to be very careful in the summertime because there's a lot more combustible on the mountain. Look at those beautiful flowers. Somebody is telling me we're having a little problem with haziness, fogginess in the Instagram posts and not in the Sunrise Stroll and Chat here on Facebook, and I've no idea why that is. Maybe some of you know somebody who can give me the answer. To check out the Instagram posts. They're short little posts. I did the Instagram already this morning before starting here. They were beautiful dawn colours. Exhilarating. And here we have more buckthorn bushes. These late bloomers. Praying for good leadership for all of God's people worldwide. This head of the Shiites in Iraq is an amazing man. He's 90 years old, and he came out very strongly condemning all the violence against the many minorities, religious minorities, very different religious minorities in Iraq. And apparently he's a very humble man and a great intellectual, a professor at what would be their equivalent of a religious university in Iraq in the Shiite tradition. Has spent all his life teaching, which is such an incredible service to humanity. Teach the good, the true, the noble, to help young people find the path in life, the path to understanding, to wisdom. Here we have a big thistle. Let's get the thistle in the sunlight, okay? Especially with special warm affection to all of our Scottish friends here. We got lots of thistles here, different ones. I think this is a very different one, but I'm not 100% sure. It might be the same breed. In fact, I'm thinking it's the same breed. We're still looking for a thistle in bloom. I've seen one down at Magdala, so maybe we're a little higher up here, a little more exposed. It might take a little longer to bloom. So there you see Mount Hermon. It's right now in the center of the screen, behind the Mount of Beatitudes. But I think maybe in a few more minutes it will be even clearer. And our angle is actually going to be better when we're a little further south here. I think, at least down at the water level, it gets better as we go south. And our pilgrimage is doing wonderfully, thanks be to God. Absolutely amazing. There are not too many of these flowers around here. This is the second one this morning. Look at the incredible creation that this is. And these ones too, but they're so tiny. Hey, I think I found, no, it's not a thistle, it's a clover. Look at a red clover. I think it's a clover. No, it's not a clover, but it's nice. Maybe it is a clover, but I haven't seen that type of flower before. Maybe somebody can tell me what it is. Share your knowledge, you know. So Jesus cleaning out the temple today. I know you want to be part of the action. It's a big deal. I think there are a lot of people that feel that they're part of the action, and when they're on the social media and they're taking a whip in their hand and they're lashing out at people. And I'm not inviting to that kind of action. I think when Jesus does this, it's a very special case. It's not his habitual mode by any means, and it's totally backed up by amazing line that he has there. Destroy this temple and in 3 days I will rebuild it. This is a very important interpretive line. So he's saying to them, crucify me and I will rise from the dead. This is the key line in the cleansing of the temple. So it's not just a revolutionary act imposing a judgment on others. It's thoroughly connected, deeply connected to the mystery of the death and resurrection of Christ. And in that way, he is actually offering himself as the victim to cleanse our temples. Because each of us is God's temple. And sometimes it's a weed garden. Our heart, our soul, our mind. We allow so much weeds and thorns and poison, and there are no fruits on the tree for harvest time. Our heart a wasteland. Our heart made to be the temple of God, made in the image and likeness of God. And this is the temple that needs cleansing. So we have to be careful picking up the whip to whip others. I'm the first one that needs to be cleansed of my idols. You know, what is an idol? Okay, so there's a very physical thing that's actually described in the story of the Ten Commandments today. In the first reading of Exodus. And it's about making an idol of wood or stone. And in that sense, that's where we have this original imagery of idols. But an idol is actually, in reality, something in which we put our trust for our happiness, our salvation, our well-being, our protection. And people have today a nice bank account and they feel that's their source of protection. Or they have nice stock investments and that's where their heart is. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be. What's the source of our security? An alliance with others? And the Bible is very clear. Curse the man that trusts in people. Curse the person who trusts in horses, in tanks, in armored cars, in F-16s, or F-18s, or laser systems. These are all tools, but they're not where we put our trust. Our trust is in the Creator, the one who made heaven and earth. And we worship him and adore him and love him and thank him, the one who made heaven and earth. and the moon and the stars. And the moon is still here, look. In the What's Up group this morning, I sent out a pano picture of the dawn, and the moon is so clear there. Right now it's getting a little less clear because the sunlight is so bright. And so we cannot put our trust in the creatures. They're the partners, the arena, some resources for our living, our work, our service to others. But our trust is in the Lord. And sometimes our temple is mixed up because our mind and heart is so filled with sexual desires and thoughts and images and aberrations. We think that's where we have our happiness. That's where we're realized. Our mind is so filled up with political concerns about this leader and that leader and the other leader, and the one that shouldn't be a leader and the one that should be a leader. And we put our trust in these things. Our trust is in God. The cleansing of our temple. Who's in our temple? We are the temples of the Holy Spirit. And who fills my heart? Who leads my thoughts? I think we should take this stone off the path here. It probably came down here with some animal running down or something. A wild boar or whatever. Because sometimes people come with their bicycle, so now it's over on the side there. And the cyclist won't have to get off his bike. And from the Christian perspective of entering into the mystery of Christ, our trust is in the cross of Christ, in his suffering. He died for us. In that love that's revealed, the love of the Father, he gave his only Son for our life. I'm not sure if we have Mount Hermon at its best right now, because sometimes with the rising sun there's also a new haze that develops. But that's Mount Hermon there, jutting up behind the hills behind the Mount of Beatitude. And here we have our fishermen. There was another team of fishermen out this morning early with lights on. Where are we, fishermen? Oh, there we are. It's a bit hazy again now, I wonder why. Oh, there it's clear. When the cars have gone by, I can hear the boat very clearly. Maybe you can even hear it. It's a purring there in the background. You know, when there's a lot of noise in our lives, it's hard to hear the voice of the Lord inside our hearts. We need the quiet. And the pilgrimage is going very well, thanks be to God. We're all very happy. A lot of people are being very blessed. People are sharing it. You know these parts, we've been here before, a few weeks ago. The southern cliffs of Mount Arbel. So people, our big prayer today can be for the cleansing of our temple. The abandonment of sources we think can give us life, but they can't. They're helpful, they're useful, they're creatures. The source is God. And He goes to no end to save us, to bring us healing and hope, and transforms our sufferings and our challenges. I'm looking forward to seeing all these thistles in bloom. Of course, at home on the farm, we'd want to cut them before they go into bloom because the thistles took over the crops. And the cattle didn't like the thistles, and we didn't either. But we have patience with all our Scots friends, and we also love the thistles, the beauty of them. So people, it looks like I'll start heading back towards Magdala. Delighted to have been here with you this morning. Thank you for coming to Galilee. God bless you. See you later, alligators. Oh, by the way, check in and Google for Pope Francis Live. The Vatican site is it's Vatican News. Does live coverage in the different sites where he's at. It's in Italian and in Arabic, obviously, because it's an Arab-speaking country. And then there's, I'm not sure if EWTN is doing directly live on time as it's happening. They do post them later. And it's good to be part of that scene in our time. It's a historic moment. It really is amazing. You know, we're looking across at Syria from here. We're looking across at Jordan down there, and they're neighbors of... Sorry, you're looking at me actually. You're looking at Jordan way down there. I can faintly see it just behind the high rise of Tiberias. And you're looking at Syria beyond the Golan there. And you're looking at Lebanon up here. And this visit is significant for all these countries that have suffered so much. So be part of the history. Prayer is a very powerful tool, and you can be a shaping force of the blessings of this moment of providence in the Middle East. See you later, alligators. Finish.